So I know that you have said you've been targeted by some extremists. How big a threat is this kind of Christian nationalism you're talking about now?
Well, I think that there is a global threat of sometimes violent groups that will take on Christian imagery. I
Mm.
think there's a much bigger threat to the impulse behind it, which is to find Christianity or some other religion as something useful in order to mobilize people or to carry out certain ideologies. And I think that's dangerous in two ways. It's dangerous to all of us as citizens and as people and as neighbors, but it also is dangerous to the witness of the Christian church. Jesus just does not allow himself to be joined together with any idol. And so we have to be very clear about what the gospel is and what the gospel is not. Because I see a reaction to all of this, often of a kind of cynicism. If people believe that what they're hearing in these sorts of movements is coming from Jesus himself, then they're disillusioned. Now, if people are disillusioned with Christ or with the gospel because they don't want to follow Christ, that's sad, but it's not surprising. But when people hear what they believe is coming out of the mouth of Jesus, violent or ethnic idolatries or a political power, then that's a message of misrepresenting Christ Himself, and that's very serious for me.
And how are churches responding to this? I mean, that what you say is clearly so serious, but how are churches managing and pushing back?
Well, I see two things happening. One of the things is that I see pastors who often are exhausted. And it's not just because of this sort of thing and because of the social media ecosystem that we live in right now, but after a year of COVID, having to make decisions about whether or not to open and when not to be open and how to deal with controversies about masks and vaccines and so forth, there's a great deal of exhaustion among some pastors, and that concerns me. I think we need congregations to love and to support their pastors in this time. But the second thing is, I think that there's a sense of renewal taking place. I see congregations and movements that are reconnecting to each other in new ways, reconnecting to their communities, grounding themselves again in the gospel first. And so that's a sign of life and of encouragement.